A blue hedgehog with red sneakers that runs at the speed of sound, collects rings, and becomes a super aura farming form. That's awesome. Sonic the Hedgehog is awesome. Many of you can agree with that statement, whether you've been a longtime Sonic fan or a newcomer like me. Today I'd like to share my experience of being a new gen Sonic fan. I've been a fan for the past 4 or 5 years now, so I'd like to share it with you. Before 2020, the only exposure I had to the Sonic franchise were the Sonic meme and the Ugandan Knuckles meme. For much of my childhood, I didn't like trying new things. I really only stuck to what I enjoyed initially, which mainly included Wii Sports and Angry Birds. I grew up with Wii Sports, and I've played just about every single Angry Birds game that released in the 2010s. Like, I have vivid memories of like being at my grandparents' house on my grandmother's Kindle playing Angry Birds Go, Angry Birds Space, and all the other games as well. And how could I forget Animals? Animals has been a huge part of my life as well. I grew up watching Wildcrafts mainly. That's how I really like nature as well. But I am going off on a tangent. I see 2019 as the definitive start to my newcome openness to try new things. It was a very gradual process. It started with just wanting to try fried shrimp for some reason, and that was the start of me being less of a picky eater. That was also the year I got introduced to Stranger Things, and being 12 years old at the time, I was scared, but at least I was watching it with my parents. They only let me watch it with them. Now, to bring Sonic into all this, this was the year the first Sonic movie by Paramount was supposed to come out. That was also when the whole ugly Sonic thing was happening. Yeah, that was pretty bad. It had the internet was not having it. But then the design got changed, and we all know how that went. So, opening night, February 14th, 2020, went to see the movie with my cousin and bunch of other family. And beforehand, we ate at an Olive Garden. It was a nice dinner, great experience, and then we saw the Sonic movie. And funny enough, there were Olive Garden jokes made. So I just found it pretty funny, situationally. Now, the cousin I mentioned, he's not much older than me, but he's the one who introduced me to Sonic. He also introduced me to Geometry Dash, which is what I played a lot through COVID, which happened shortly after Sonic 1 came out. Can't believe it's been 6 years as of recording this that happened. My interest in Sonic was also pretty gradual. One of the first songs that I really listened to that my cousin introduced me to was the theme song for Sonic and the Black Knight, Night of the Wind. And to this day, I still really like that song, even though I have yet to play that game. I have a Wii, but I still haven't played it yet. Fast forward to mid 2021, and I've survived a year of a global pandemic, just taking online classes and playing Among Us for who knows how many hours, and Geometry Dash as well. For several months leading up to this point, my parents were talking about moving out of state. For context, I was born and raised in Massachusetts, and even though I wasn't the most social or outgoing person, this the idea of moving somewhere was it was daunting. It was eventually decided that we would be moving to Florida, since my grandparents were deciding to move there as well. And I've been living in this state for the past 4 years now. 2021 was also the year where I started high school. So, yay. But this is also the time where my love for the Sonic franchise really began to take shape. My cousin, who was still in Massachusetts, suggested suggested a Sonic game for me to play, Sonic Colors. He ended up getting the game and having it shipped to my house over 1,000 miles away. And Sonic Colors became the first Sonic game I played on my own. And looking back, it's definitely a nice experience. Like, yeah, the controls were a little weird at times with the Wiimote, but overall, I love the aesthetic of the game. It's pretty beginner friendly looking back. And yes, a lot of the dialogue is pretty cringe, especially if you're a more established Sonic fan. You're like, ah, this game's so cringe. It ruined the franchise. At the time, having no context of any other Sonic games, it was just a nice experience. I liked the game. I ended up completing the story in 2023. It took me 2 years to complete this game. For Christmas of 2021, my parents got my brother and I a Nintendo Switch. We first got Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe for that, which took a while to play that. I'm more committed to Sonic anyways. Then I got Mario Maker, Super Smash Bros., got a few other games, but the ones I really want to talk about are Team Sonic Racing and Sonic Mania, because I got it as a bundle. I will say, with the controls, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is better than Team Sonic Racing. Now, for Sonic Mania, as my first 2D Sonic game, I really like it. Also took me 2 years to complete. Love the music. Like, I remember my sophomore year, I didn't even have YouTube Premium. I just made my own custom playlist of Sonic music on YouTube, which included some of the music from Sonic Mania, which is pretty nice. Now, I think the big turning point for me as a Sonic fan was seeing the first teaser trailer for Sonic Frontiers. For I was a pretty indecisive kid growing up. What do you want for your birthday? I don't know. What do you want for Christmas? I don't know. After seeing that teaser trailer, I knew, I knew I wanted that game. I wanted that game for Christmas. And I eventually did. Ended up grinding Sonic Frontiers in 3 months. Heck, this time 3 years ago, I completed the Sonic Frontiers story. Now with with the surrounding context of just the 2010s was the worst era for Sonic, Sonic Frontiers, for what it tried doing, it did it pretty well. Even if it's not like Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Unleashed levels of peak, at least story-wise maybe, it's still a decent game, especially experimenting with the open world, really open zone features. It was pretty cool roaming around Kronos Island, Eris Island, fighting bosses. And bro, hearing Undefeatable for the first time, that was peak. Banger song. Although I will say, of the three Titan themes, Breakthrough It All is my favorite. It's a vibe for me. I really like it. Now, in 2022 and into 2023, I also played the mobile versions of Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic CD. I find Sonic 2 to have the most replay value. I love playing it over and over and over again, even after already gathering the 7 Chaos Emeralds. I just like playing it here and there. I don't recall when I started playing Sonic Dash, but I do remember for the Sonic 3 movie, just grinding the game trying to get that movie Shadow skin. Speaking of movies, how could I forget the second Sonic movie, where we got to see Tails, Knuckles, and Super Sonic on the big screen? My cousin, for him in Massachusetts, it was his spring break in April, and he and his family went to visit, and his birthday's around that time, so we got to see the Sonic 2 movie in theaters, and we were both pretty hyped, especially when we saw Super Sonic. And then the little mid-credit scene, excuse me, the mid-credit scene where we see Shadow the Hedgehog, we both got hyped as well. Rightfully so. I will talk about that in a bit. Also, the Sonic Prime series came out in 2022. I just gloss over the fact that 2022 was the year of Sonic. Like, this was the year that kind of like really brought Sonic back. Now, fast forwarding to 2023, I wanted to get Sonic Unleashed, and I saw, ooh, it's on the Wii. I can get it for the Wii. I got it for the Wii on Christmas. And while playing, I'm like, okay, here's Windmill Isle, here's Rooftop Run, here's Dragon Road. Eventually, you get to the fictional town of Missouri, and I'm like, wait, why is there only a boss fight? Only then did I realize I got the worst port of the game, because the Xbox 360 port is the complete version of the game. Still had a cool experience, even though I only finished the story like 3 months ago. What is it with me in taking 2 years to complete Sonic games? Then 2024, the year of Shadow. I I got Sonic X Shadow Generations. Actually, like the start of 2025, grinded both games in a month. That was a pretty cool experience. All right, I'm all over the place. Let me take it a little bit back to December of 2024. I am now a senior in high school, a lot more social. Since my junior year, I'd been a lot more socially active, and I invited two of my friends to see the Sonic 3 movie with me, since I was pretty hyped for this movie. And now, the first Sonic movie, I had no context of the Sonic franchise, but over the past few years, I'd seen a bunch of memes, like the I just love Latina Sonic. Seen a bunch of memes, a lot of. I love the music since 2023, especially like when I got Spotify. I currently have an 18 and a half hour playlist, custom playlist of just Sonic music from games I've played like Sonic Mania, Sonic Frontiers, Unleashed, and even from games I have yet to play like Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Heroes. So at this point in time, I'm going into a Sonic movie with so much context and experience as a Sonic fan. And I'm being surrounded by other Sonic fans who are just as hyped to see this movie. And let me tell you, when Live and Learn by Crush 40 started playing, when Sonic and Shadow did the most epic dab up in film history, just glowing with a golden aura. Oh my gosh. Yo, that was absolute cinema. So far, seeing that movie in theaters, that experience, that is so far the best movie experience I've ever had in my life, and I really hope Sonic 4 can top that. The most recent Sonic game I've played, or at least the most recent one I've gotten into, is Sonic Adventure DX. Since I now have Steam, I've never had Steam before, I have the means to play it, so I might as well play it. It's pretty cool so far. I'm just not used to the Sonic Adventure style gameplay. I'm used to the classics and especially the boost formula. In Sonic Unleashed, just boost. In Sonic Frontiers, boost. Sonic Colors, boost with the wisps. Overall, I've had a pretty unique and interesting experience as a new gen Sonic fan. As someone who knew literally nothing about the franchise 5 years ago, to someone who knows a lot more about the franchise and can share his passion with other people. Like, my love for this franchise has not only helped me get through high school, but I've connected with people who share similar interests, who are also Sonic fans, who just like video games in general. And this passion now extends to anime, which has been a recent passion of mine for the past 2 years. That could be another video, another day. But anyways, that is my experience as a new gen Sonic fan. Thank you so much for watching. Yes, this is my first video. I'm just trying this stuff out. Want to see how it goes. I appreciate you staying till the end. This is NJF, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.